Unknown forces in the round table. Let's get the fire stoked here. Got to get the fire going. Okay. So there are unknown forces that do not want us to realize what we are truly capable of. You and me, Betsy, we are just like Jesus in the flesh. And we, as he tells us, can do more than he did. Remember that? John 14:12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also. And greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. So just a reminder, right? We don't just incarnate willy-nilly. That's what I mean by the round table. It's all planned. It's all written down. The mile markers are there. And these unknown forces don't want you to know about the round table. They want you to know about the spirit team and your divine counsel that you have all around you. These unknown forces, fallen dark angel overlords that are running around in their little season on the planet right now, they do not want you to know any of this. I should say humans with a soul, that's you and me, Betsy, and JoJo, all right, we are extraordinary beings. That fact is the oppression of the dark forces that is at work around us. That is actually the spiritual warfare on our lives. Once we truly embrace what and who we are, our natural gifts, right? Our natural gifts, which are supernatural, by the way, when we embrace that and stop embracing a false narrative, we will become fully in our light. And we will not need, nor will we want, what this 3D dimensional plane is offering. When we each do that, then we will waken, right? Shake the others back to their light, right? The light will penetrate the darkness. And that is right. We are currently in the outer darkness, consciously. We are currently in the gnashing of teeth is here now. You know, I call it, I heard a friend of mine say this once, the cocky soul syndrome. Like, what were we thinking as a soul? To want to come into 3D earth realm that's being governed and run by Satan and his dark forces. It's not a cocky soul, it's a strong soul. And you came here with unbelievable purpose. But we have to remember to start believing in ourselves. When everybody starts believing in their self, that then becomes the contagion, right? Believing in yourself is contagious. It will spread like a virus. That's what we need to do, right? For that contagion, that virus finally goes into a positive direction that will knock out the dark forces around us. What is the dark forces? It's every single institution ever established since really 1700. What you call universities, schools, medicine, science, seminaries, all of it. It's all indoctrination and not to empower you. It does not empower you. It does not serve you. It hates you. It thinks you are, got the worth or the value of an ant, meaning the little insect, right? So they do not want you to ever know who you are. Because Jesus lived his life to show you that you're the same, that you could do all that he did and more. No, they distract you. How do they distract you? Well, today it's social media, or mainstream media, or politics, or science, or medicine, blah, blah, blah. It's all indoctrination. But more than that, they get you to follow money. They only want you, I guess I want to say, laser focused on money. More money. So let's get to the round table. Before you were born. All right, if this knowledge I was told by my higher self, if only 1% of the people on the planet understood the round table, really grokked, right? They really grok what it means to be at your round table with your spirit team of angels, your divine council, your spirit guides, your ancestors, whatever. We have so much help and so much love and so much support. And if 1%, just 1% of the people on the planet could grok that and take responsibility, right? That's the main thing. Take responsibility, because nothing has happened to you that wasn't for your highest purpose, for your highest good, to get you off of the karmic cycle. You designed every single character in your play. You are center stage, and the universe is supporting your goal and purpose to get off of the karmic cycle. And if everybody, no, not everybody, but if 1% of the people collectively could move out of their ego, right? Acronym for edging God out. Move out of their ego of drama and trauma. We could collectively take responsibility for absolutely everything in our life, down to the smallest detail. Right? That is how we empower others. Like when Jesus told the daughter in Matthew 9:22, and when he said that to the servant in Matthew 8:13, as well as to the man in Luke 17:19. Once we live in the state of Jesus, we, to use a term popular today, would be called, or would be known as, superheroes. But today we live in a cult that has reached every corner of planet Earth. We are brought up in a narrative that is a lie. Our consciousness, our brains, everything about who and what we are has been hijacked, enslaved, and are driven by money. You guys remember Matthew 6:24, right? No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. Look up mammon in the concordance. It means money. So before we decide, at our round table to actually jump into Satan's little season, we gathered up our angels, our divine council, right? The divine council, remember Matthew 5:22 on this one. Read it. I'll read it for you, actually. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment, and whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. You have a divine council. I hope you guys get to meet yours, talk to yours, get guidance. I do all the time. And that's natural. That is part of our supernatural, God-given right to talk to your angels or your divine counsel around you. We have a spiritual team that is assisting us at all times, right? They were there at the round table. They were writing in their books, our book of life, right? They were writing about, we knew what we were coming here to do. We had a purpose and we have a goal. And all of it is simply to, I guess I want to say, grow your soul, experience. It's a journey. Your soul is a journey for eternity, right? So we decided on this timeline, 3D planet Earth, which is the most dangerous, evil time that Earth has ever or will ever experience, we took this very seriously to incarnate into this timeline. So we plotted out our life. We plotted out the path that we would take in this lifetime, every single bit of it. The entire journey was talked about, from all of the characters, right? Beginning with the parents, the family, the siblings, the area, which continent, what little spot on that continent. It's all serves a purpose. It all serves our growth as a soul, right? We decided the terrain. We understood the kind of narrative that would best support our progress. And again, the goal, to burn off karma, get off of this cycle. There is a repeating cycle for new souls to come in, to grow and learn. It has purpose. It all has meaning. Nothing in God's universe is willy-nilly. It's all planned, it's all precise, it's all mathematical, and it all has purpose. So we can't just discount that. We have to understand how powerful and wonderful we are. All right, but we got to get off this cycle right now. It's a young soul cycle. It's necessary, but it's time to, this incarnation being the most, I guess I would say, difficult. It's pure evil. That serves us truly to our spiritual core. So everybody has a part in your, right? So you're center stage. Each of us are center stage, and we all have characters that come onto the stage and go off of the stage. And we ask them to give us trauma or abuse that we understood required for our own good to burn off karma, right? We know everything, or I should say, put it this way, I call it mile markers, little everyday decisions. We have free will, and we can stray off our path, or we can, obviously we're going to forget the round table. I didn't forget the round table. I was able to come in with that memory. But again, little decisions daily, that's free will. But there are mile markers when we should turn left or right. Big decisions in our life, those things are pre-planned. And again, it's all written down. If you want to think of it as a book or a scroll, I think of it as a scroll because my divine counsel took me to the scroll room. It's literally a room which all of the walls, the ceilings, and the floor were scrolls. It was interesting. So I say right now, a lot of what I'm talking about can be found in just one chapter of Hebrews, Hebrews 10. If you're able to read Hebrews 10 with an open heart that's congruent with your mind, not anybody else's narrative, not any indoctrination. As an example, I'm going to read Hebrews 10 verse 7, And then I'm going to skip down to verse 32, and then I'm going to finish out the chapter. Hebrews 10, verse 7. Then said I, lo, I come. In the volume of the book it is written of me, to do thy will, O God. So you have a book that was written, your spirit team's holding on to it. It was written at the round table. Now let's go down, read all of Hebrews 10 with this concept, with this a little bit of illumination. I use that word purposely because it's found in verse 32. Hebrews 10, verse 32, but call to remembrance the former days in which, after ye were illuminated, ye endured a great fight of afflictions. Now let's think about this. Verse 7. We know we have a book that is written of me, to do thy will of God. That is us, every human. Now, of course, you know there are humans walking around that has no souls. All right, there's clones out there. I am talking to the humans with a soul. You know who you are. Those of us do always seek and search out to do the will of God. Now, when you go down from Hebrews 10, verse 32, it says that you already had an illuminated life. Let's read it again. Call to remembrance the former days in which, after ye were illuminated, ye endured a great fight of afflictions. That's us. That's you and me, Betsy, here in this timeline. We need to recall, reclaim, reconnect with that illuminated life, right? That is part of your higher self. We now live in a timeline that Satan is a part of, but we have lived in other timelines that Satan and his dark forces were not while he was chained up. We have had timelines. Now, in God's world is not linear. It's all happening at one time. And what you can wrap your head around that, you can connect. I call it travel, but you can travel to those timelines and reconnect and reclaim the wisdom and the knowledge that you received, because the world was all light. Satan's dark forces had not been unleashed. Are you understanding that? So Jesus taught us that we can be one with the source. The kingdom is within us. Jesus taught that over and over. The kingdom is within. The kingdom is in you. The light of God is in you. We can connect with that one source, Creator God, and we can walk and talk and live and perform miracles just the way Jesus did over 2,000 years ago. Wisdom, by the way, in the concordance, if you go to the concordance and you'll see the word wisdom is in 222 verses. Do you think that's an accident? Or do you think Matthew 5, verse 22 that I already read was an accident? Once you understand the spiritual meaning behind God's math, not numerology, not Pythagoras, spiritual meaning behind the numbers, it's a code, but it helps you to walk deeply and more purposeful with God, right? So 2, or a pattern like 222. I'm going to do a video just on numbers, but since the word wisdom is part of the round table understanding, because you're looking at, if you will, my memory, you're looking at like a screen that shows you all of the experiences, positive and negative, so you understand for yourself what you need to do to burn off the negative karma and to not create more karma. That is everything Jesus taught us in Matthew 5 and Matthew 6. All right, so as an example, 2, it's about balance and harmony, cooperation, about the duality and relationships. It's about the need to find equilibrium between opposing forces, and about encouraging peace and understanding through partnerships and diplomacy, right? It's about integration. So when I'm talking about connecting with higher self, connecting with that illuminated being that you have, it's all happening at one time. It's about having empathy for yourself and for everyone. Because this is walking through Satan's little season, it's actually hell. Right? It's about getting in touch with both your masculine and feminine energies, bringing balance, using intuition, right? Using or being empathic with others, understanding their drama, trauma, abuse, and or their perspectives, right? It's about adapting and patience, teamwork. I mean, like working, the importance, honestly, of working collaboratively with others to achieve shared goals. So back to the timelines. Again, we have had timelines happening right now, which we're not dealing with evil. We're not dealing with demons. We're not in Satan's little season. Those timelines you can see if you start studying the sky and the stars and the ecliptic plane. There were timelines when the sun was huge and red and we lived to be 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years old. Once you do a real study of astronomy, you know that. And you see it in all the Egyptian art. We need to connect to our illuminated selves in those timelines that exist right now, here today. It's all happening everywhere, all at once. There's where we get the wisdom. There's where the knowledge. There's where we reclaim, understand, and use properly our supernatural abilities. Not for evil, not for bad, not for anything but love and compassion, peace and understanding. So, and by the way, that part of us, that illuminated part of us, was also at the round table. Really read, just relax and take in, just read Hebrews 10 every day. Just kind of let Hebrews 10 bring the congruency between your heart and your head. So let me jump down to Hebrews 10 and read the last 3 verses, 37 and 39. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come, and will not tarry. Who's he talking about? Now, if you watch my videos, you know that I think God himself wrote all of Hebrews. Not Paul. Paul's not that smart. God wrote it. An angel delivered it. But anyways, this is talking about Satan here. Again, let me repeat Hebrews 10, 37 to 39. For yet a little while, and he that shall come will come, and will not tarry. Now, the just shall live by faith. But if any man draw back, my soul shall have no pleasure in him. But we are not of them who draw back unto perdition, but of them that believe to the saving of the soul. So here we find Again, I already said, yet a little while, he will come and will not tarry. The only thing in Satan's little season that has, I should say, the only prophecy, once Satan's little season gets here, all of that's been done, right? Revelation was all done in John's lifetime. It was prophesied by Jesus that John would be here for everything talked about in Matthew 24, everything, the total, annihilation of the temple and the city of Jerusalem burned to the ground by 70 AD. The book of Hebrews was written between 64 and 69 AD. It was during the time of Caesar Nero's persecution of the Christians, called at that time, the Christians at that time were called Ebionites. And it simply means the poor ones. To be an Ebionite meant to be the poor ones in spirit, as Jesus taught us in Matthew 5:3. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So Hebrews 10 is addressing a future event after the prophecy given by Jesus that not one stone left upon another. All right? That happened 40 years after his resurrection, and the Roman invasion took 7 years by Titus. All right, so again, what is Satan's little season? Well, if Satan were to jump on a football field today, his jersey would have the number 23. Why? Because of Revelation 20, verse 3. Let's read that. And cast him into the bottomless pit and shut him up and set a seal upon him, that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years should be fulfilled. And after that, he must be loosed a little season. All right, so let's go back. Hebrews 10, verse 38. It says, the just, as in the teachings of James the just, in Jerusalem, in the timeline of James, the brother of Jesus, they called him James the Just. So Jesus' brother, I should say Jesus left his brother to be the head of his teachings. So the just, in verse 38, shall live by faith. This faith is known at the round table. And it's our mile markers in our book held by our spirit team. It reminds us at every event in our life, good or bad, it is a decision we made before birth. It has a soul purpose, a karmic purpose. It's opportunity, to use biblical language, birthing of a new branch, a new vine, allowing new growth for our soul to obtain more light, more awareness of who we are, who we are as a soul, as a being, in our infinite eternal walk with God. So no matter what life deals you, it was by your design. All of the trauma, all of the abuse, all of the failed relationships, all the family drama, it's all by your request. And once you take and own responsibility, but more important, accept it all, and then forgive 100% of every experience, it will be that will free you up to connect to your higher self, to connect to your illuminated lifetimes and other timelines happening right now, for you yourself to gather up all your soul fragments and become one whole new soul, right? As in John 3:5. Let's read that. Jesus answered, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born of water and of the Spirit, he cannot enter into the kingdom of God. So, water and spirit. Now, our indoctrination will dumb this down a little bit and say something like, that's baptism. But they kind of gloss over the spirit part, right? Is baptism enough? I mean, yeah, the Holy Spirit's going to wash over you, absolutely. But let's not gloss over when a red letter. Let's dive deeper. Let's want to know more about that. All right? Take every word that Jesus says as truth. I don't redact or gloss over red letters, nor do I gloss over anything said by James, Jude, or Peter. So, how are we to be born of water and spirit? That is the point of the round table, is how do we get that? So we can move off the karmic plane. How do we connect with our spirit? It's the reason the round table exists. It's why we have a spirit team. It's why we have a divine council around us. So we will answer to that divine council that we already read back in Matthew 5:22. Again, that number, 22, is by design. Once you unlock the codes of the Bible, the spiritual significance of God's math, you will connect with your spirit, with your soul, with your true light, right? Think of it as your North Star. So again, going forward, all of my videos will be on connecting to your true north. No more ego, just pure spiritual connection with your own divinity of who you truly are. Amen, Potters? Potter out.